Yeah, we'll start keeping. Take them. Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight on a weeknight to hear from our distinguished guest, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He's one of the foremost scholars in his body, traveled all around the world. Really, I really don't feel like I actually need to introduce him. He comes here every year. We all know him and love him, and love his presentations and his style of presenting. So informative, and personally, I love the way of how he presents in such an educational, almost a classroom format, where I always feel that when I leave, I've learned something new, or I've learned how to look at something in a new perspective, learned how to think about Prabhupada's teachings or something from the Bhagavad Gita in a new perspective. And so I really love that about the Guru's presentation. So, Chaitanya Guru, thank you so much for coming back to Brisbane.
It's connecting.
Yeah, it's good.
Hold on.
Just a second. I think it timed out.
Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamke Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhu yaivacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And you know, this guide is also that we can appreciate your love, we can look at it through all the levels and files of love. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your patience in waiting and for coming today. It's a joy to be here in this new temple. I was just looking around, we have a Tulsi Maharani, a beautiful garden outside. It's great joy to see how the Brisbane Yatra has evolved over the years, decades since I have been coming. And how amazing. Not just a part of the history, they're all been instrumental in that history. So today I'll discuss about how prayers play a part in our spiritual life, especially in terms of perceiving Krishna's role. When prayers don't seem to be answered, or prayers don't seem to be working. So I shared a copy of my new book with you. You can go to page the word 7.25. 48. The page number might type it. Is it 52? It's 7.25 words.
7.25.
So in this book, I have 52. 52. Yeah, 52. In this book, I have taken the Bhagavad Gita's verses and rendered them into English poetry. And then I've seen how that wisdom can inspire prayer from us. The idea is Krishna is not just a God who's going to give instructions to us. He wants us to connect with him in a personal relationship. And praying is an important part of the personal relationship. So for each prayer, there's a beautiful deity picture of Krishna from that is dating across the world. And then there's a one sentence spiritual affirmation. So if you like, you can repeat after me. My dear Lord,
My dear Lord,
what blinds me
what blinds me
is your invisibility,
is not your invisibility,
but my unavailability.
but my availability.
Recite first. Nam prakasha sarvasya
Naham prakasha sarvasya
yogamaya samavrita
yogamaya samavritaha
Mudoyam navijanati
mudoyam navijanati
loko mamajamavyayam
loko mamajamavyayam.
Veiled by your mind's mystic screen, by everybody I am not clearly seen. The world viewed is unable to see. Unborn, unchanging truth that's me. So Rita, 725. So I'll request the devotees to read one more paragraph. Would you like to read the first paragraph?
My dear Lord, you are invisible to us not because you wish to remain inaccessible to us, It is primarily because you do not wish to impose yourself upon us. You respect our free will, and specifically our present will to explore life on our own, without any conscious connection with you.
Yes. Thank you. So basically, recently I was at a youth gathering in India, and one young devotee asked me a question. If Krishna wants us to follow his plan, why doesn't he tell us what his plan is? Right? So it's Krishna says surrender to me, but then he doesn't tell me how to surrender. With so many challenges I face in life, and I would like to be of service to Krishna. I would like to do Krishna's will, but I don't know what is Krishna's. So we all face so many decisions in our life. Should I stay on with the job, move on another job? Should I stay in this place or buy a new house and go to another place? Or should I put my child in this school or that school? There are small choices which we can just do based on our instinct and our intelligence. But there are big choices also too. And how do we make those choices? So often Krishna is invisible to us. Krishna is silent to us. And what happens is that we can end up confused. So I don't have any ready answers to this question, but I'll explain what my understanding is. So I'll talk about it in 3-4 different parts based on how we discuss the various paragraphs. But the first point I try to explain is that so when we want to do something, you don't know what Krishna would like us to do or what will please Krishna. And it doesn't seem clear to us. So it's important to understand that our not knowing Krishna's plan is also a part of Krishna's plan. What do we mean by this? That Krishna's plan can work in many different ways. I know a devotee of Israel. Now, of course, things I'm not making geopolitical comment over here. What? Right? So his cousin is the Israeli inspiring Mossad. Just telling how they work. So if they have some spies in say Iran, somewhere else, and now sometimes they have very highly coordinated operations. So on they have very coordinated operations, but quite often what the operation is not known to any of the agents on the ground coordinating the operation. Because the problem is if any of them is caught, then they will be tortured and the secrets will be extracted from them and the whole operation will be sabotaged. So, of course, this is a volatile political military example. But the point is, sometimes somebody not knowing the plan can also be a part of the plan. So, Krishna not revealing his plan to us is not Krishna being deliberately difficult or Krishna wanting to put us in difficulty. Now, we say, what secret is why, what are they going to be extracted? That's not the point of the matter. The point of the matter is that some not no, just because we can't figure out Krishna's plan does not mean that Krishna does not have a plan or Krishna does not care for us. So for us, when we talk about Krishna's plan, it can work in both ways. One is that sometimes it's clear this is what I should be doing. And sometimes it may be easy. In both situations, so this is from Krishna's perspective as a plan, but from our perspective, it can be easy. So when Krishna is saying Namaham Prakash Sarvasya, he's not just talking about his visibility. Yes, that's one aspect of it. But when Krishna was here on the planet, even Duryodhana saw him. So not only did Duryodhana see Krishna in his beautiful two-handed form, generally for people, when we are going to transform them, if somebody is not doing the right thing, Then broadly, there are multiple ways in which we transform. So one is through power. The other is through desire. Beyond this is through love. What do I mean by power? If you don't do this, I have the power to destroy. Therefore, do this. Another is, if you do this, I'll do this too. Like what we talk about carrot and stick. No. But beyond that, there is love. Now, love is not exactly a carrot, because carrot is something extrinsic to the words. Love is because I care for you, so I want to do this. Now, Krishna obviously could not use love because the person had no love for Krishna. So now Krishna tried both carrot and stick. You can have the entire thing on twist to the Pandavas side. And then Krishna went to the opposite side. Krishna showed the entire universal form. I was blazing, it was all orphans, all devouring. For the exact same form that Krishna showed to Arjuna on the battlefield. But still, it was an awesome display of power. And Krishna not only showed it to Duryodhana, he even gave eyes to Dhritarashtra to see it. And Dhritarashtra saw it, and yet his heart did not change. The wisdom is meant to act as light, something that illuminates. But when we are very attached, wisdom acts as lightning. But one moment of illumination, and after that, it's a snapback to the same old thing. So for Dhritarashtra, how did the wisdom act like? Lightning. Lightning. So now, it was not that Krishna was invisible. Krishna made himself visible also. But Dhritarashtra was unavailable. Unavailable means his heart was already consumed or occupied, dominated by Duryodhana, by the attachment to him. And that's why there is no place for Krishna as now. So this is one aspect that even when Krishna is visible, still Krishna may not be accessible or Krishna may not be accessed because a person's heart is desperate. Now, we may say, yeah, as devotees, we are not like Duryodhana. At least we don't think we are like Duryodhana. So we would like to give service to Krishna. So then why Krishna's plan, in one sense, Krishna made his plan clear to Duryodhana, he's going to accept it. We are devotees. So how do we understand our situation? Let's look at the next paragraph. Who would like to explain the relations? Okay. Thank you. Oh, in fact.
This Lord, even during those extraordinary times when you become visible, when you descend from this world, many souls still fail to see you, for they equate you with an ordinary human being simply because you move within this world like other human beings. Even during more ordinary times, when you are not visibly present, you still manifest in this world through moments, insights, and experiences that point to a magnificence and benevolence, defying any relativistic materialistic explanation.
Let's see when you complicate it. But the point is that they never even consider our daily life. Sometimes we get some inspiration and then we get some idea. It works out brilliantly. Now just look at the language. We get an inspiration. When we use the word get, what does it mean? It's coming from somewhere. I got an idea. Nobody said I manufactured an idea. No, I incubated an idea. Yeah, after we get an idea, we have to develop it. But these things just come to us sometimes. And there are many scientists who have done studies of inspiration. And we can go by logical reasoning from point A to point B to point C. But we can't go by logical reasoning from point A suddenly to Z. So inspiration works like that. Suddenly there's a moment of clarity, this confidence. And then afterwards, logical reasoning will follow naturally. So there are even people who may be not necessarily believing in God. But if they talk about creativity, in any area, it's an artistic area, but in any area, they say that I'm more a channel for the creativity. I'm not the source of the creativity, I'm the channel. The famous author, he used to write very complicated text, very profound but complicated text. And once his work was selected for a prominent award. So the award committee, they went through a particular passage. They said, "What does this mean?" He read it. He read it once. He read it twice. He read it thrice. Then he said, "When I wrote this, God and I knew what it meant. Now God knows." So sometimes these inspirations is that they come to us. They, if we have, I wouldn't say the humility, just the objectivity. Recognize this is something which is bigger than it's beyond. So that time, a pious mind, a devoted mind, can actually see the hand of God working in our life. In general, so we go through life. Broadly, if I am here, and this is the point of success, I want to climb up and put a victory flag over here. Mhm. As you can see, my drawing is very good. So I put a label over there. So now, if I want to go from here to here, now quite often we may put in the effort. But if we are honest, we understand that actually my effort only went a particular degree. I made certain arrangements, but many other things have to fall in place for the thing to be successful. That now this is not to devalue our own effort. What we did is important, but it's also to recognize that whenever things do work out, it is not only because of our own effort. There are some things, or many things you have to work out beyond our effort also. So when we go through life, there are times when we can. So what I'm discussing now is if Krishna seems invisible to us, when our prayers are not being answered. So at that time, we can look at what are the things that actually happened by Krishna's arrangement. What did Krishna arrange? What did Krishna arrange means that I did certain things, and those things did work out. But I didn't make it work out completely. Sometimes what I did might have been 50%, sometimes what I did 20%, what I might have done 70%. But there are many things which need to work out beyond what I did. And so this perceiving this is a vital part of Krishna consciousness. So for us, we can look back at sometimes we just use the word, "Oh, I was lucky, I got a lucky break." But what is that lucky break? It's actually Krishna creates working on thing. Since devotees, Krishna may not become visible to us in person as Shyama Sundar. But we need to see Krishna's hand. Like Arjuna, when he wanted to kill Jayadratha, at that time he did all his effort. And despite all his effort, despite fighting like he had never fought before, still, at the end, it was not. Arjuna was just so close. Arjuna could see the standard of Jayadratha's chariot at that particular point. And Arjuna had just fought so stupendously. And he seemed about to gain an almost improbable, impossible victory. Duryodhan decided to make a last ditch effort. Duryodhan, he actually see how Krishna consciousness manifests for different characters. So Duryodhan, as Arjuna was advancing relentlessly, defeating one after another of the barriers that Duryodhana had put. He's like, how has Arjuna got so far? How is my entire army not able to stop Arjuna? Maybe Krishna really is God. Maybe if Krishna really is God, what is the use of fighting against God? God's all God. They are not talking. No, I am a good person. Why would God be against me? If Krishna were really God, how was I able to kill everybody yesterday? Krishna loves Arjuna. Arjuna loves him. I was able to kill everybody. Therefore, Krishna is not lost. And therefore, I will succeed in stopping Arjuna. And he said, yesterday you used 6 warriors to stop Arjuna, to stop Arjuna's son Abhimanyu. Today I use 8 warriors. And he told Karna and Ashwatthama to come from front. The Dora and Kulpan to come from one side. Shali and Kutava to come from another side. And he himself, the Dura and Dhritarashtra, came from here. All of them simultaneously attacked Arjuna. And suddenly there was a dark, thick, impenetrable city cloud of arrows just coming towards Arjuna from all sides. And Arjuna was whirling around, fighting fully. When he drew an arrow, when he shot, nobody could see. And he kept all the arrows coming at him from all sides, and he could move forward. So fierce was the attack. And the sun was racing down toward the horizon. Arjuna started despairing. Krishna recognized what was happening. He saw Arjuna's predicament. Krishna intervened. And he called Sudarshan Chakra. And he used Sudarshan Chakra to cover the sun. And sun got covered. The Kauravas thought, oh, we have won. And started celebrating. Had been hiding behind other warriors being forward. Now he came forward. He said, oh, Arjuna, you are going to kill me? I will watch you. Should I like the twinkle by it now? Arjuna lowered his bow. It disappeared. At that time, Krishna spoke. Arjuna, there is still time. Put the master on your bow and point it towards your brother. Arjuna heard Krishna's words. Arjuna had questions. And Arjuna knew there is a time for questions. And this is not that time. So, as Arjuna raised his bow, at that moment, Krishna pulled back Sudarshan Chakra. And as the last ray of sun streamed down from the horizon, Krishna told Arjuna, Arjuna, there is the sun, and there is Chaitanya. Shoot! And right in front of the eyes of everyone, Arjuna shot the arrow. The Duryodhana, Jayendra had been mocking Arjuna and laughing. He was laughing, and that laughter changed to shock. That shock changed to fear. That fear changed to terror. Kind of desperately pull out his sword, do something. But the arrow just stabbed and lopped off his head. Now, at this, the Kauravas completely got shattered. And if we see, what did Arjuna do? At that time, he turned to Krishna and said, Krishna, without you, this would have been impossible. And Krishna told Arjuna that what you have achieved today is unparalleled. History will remember your extraordinary achievement. So I was telling this story in UK, and this was many devotee kids were there. So one kid asked me this question: why did Krishna use his chakra to cover the sun? In the chakra, why did Krishna just lop off the head of Shivra off the head? He could have done that. And the point was that Krishna wanted Arjuna to keep the credit, to take the glory. So Krishna, rather than doing the act, he created the setting for the act. Now, in logic, or you say that in morality, there are two things. There is cheating and there is drinking. Now, cheating and drinking are not the same thing. So, for example, in cricket, if a bowler tampers the condition of the ball, so that the ball will see more or spin more, that's cheating. But I'd say for fast bowler, comes running extremely fast, and then ball drops extremely slow ball. And the batsman is anticipating a fast ball, the batsman swings the bat, and the bat is gone high in the sky, and the ball immediately comes and knocks over the subs. Now, is that cheating? It's cheating. Yeah. So now what Krishna did with the Sudarshan Chakra, was that cheating or drinking?
Drinking.
Why? Because we like Krishna. How is it not cheating? Why is it drinking?
Because the sun was still up. So like cheating would be like making the sun go down like fast and then making it come back up. But drinking was like up.
That's pretty fascinating. That is true. See, if Krishna had not uncovered the Sudarshan Chakra, if the sun had set by that time, so basically, if the rules of war had been broken, then that would have been cheating. So Krishna often uses tricks. Now, see, it could have worked both ways. That Arjuna would have thought, sun is set, what can I do? I can't do it. It's all lost. And Krishna said, make sure. And Krishna is asking, I don't want to cheat. So Arjuna, he, when Krishna made the arrangement for ensuring that what he could not do was done, Arjuna gratefully accepted that and then did it. Now, on the other hand, when Abhimanyu was killed, what happened? Duryodhana cheated. It was blatantly unfair. 6 warriors attacked one Abhimanyu. And they gave it. And then he saw that as Krishna's army. So the point is that Duryodhana would see Krishna's potency in so many things. The fact that Bhishma had fallen, the fact that the Pandavas had survived the exile, the Pandavas had survived all his schemes. So, in generally, in every endeavor that anyone does, every endeavor, there will be an element of failure or failure or loss or setback, and there will be an element of success. So now, this is that means very rarely will everything that we plan work out the way we want it. Something will work out well, something will not work. Now, if you see the non-devotee and the devotee, how their vision varies. The non-devotee, what they do is they blame God for the failure and they take credit for the success. So now they say they don't believe in God. And okay, they don't believe in God, then they will blame fate. They will blame other people. So the idea is that within the non-devotional vision, there is no room for God except as the spoiler of my plan. That why is God doing this to me? Why is this not working out? Why is this happening like this? So God is seeing God's role is not seen in our ability, our endeavors, and how when success comes, our ability and our endeavors are not enough. So many things have to fall in place. But when things seem to fall apart, that's when God leads the way. So again, what you're talking about is when we're not able to see God's hand. That often happens because we are seeing in the wrong places. That where so when it was success, the Duryodhana succeeded in something terrible. And it's like that. Suppose 5 people try to rob a bank, hmm, and 4 people fail and 1 person succeeds. Now, is the person who succeeds blessed by God, or the person who failed to rob the bank, they're blessed by God? What do you think? Now, the 20% the person who failed to rob the bank, maybe they didn't commit a crime and they won't be penalized, of course. So, you say they are saved by God. But somebody succeeds committing the crime, they robbed the bank, they got the money. Now, is that the blessing of God?
No.
So the point is that robbing the bank itself is a bad example, isn't it? So now, once you try to see God's role, you can see God, somebody who fails to rob the bank, you say, why was God not on my side? Hmm? Somebody who succeeds in robbing the bank, see how clever I am. How smart out of this. I do that. So whether the endeavor succeeds or not, that is important. But what is even more important is why we are doing the endeavor. When often with respect to Prabhupada's preaching, we say now Prabhupada, we say attribute to Prabhupada, purity is the focus. Now, yes, that is true. But then when Srila Prabhupada was in India, he was trying to preach for 35, 40 years. And he did not succeed so much. Does that? And then it went to America, in the West, he had phenomenal success. So if purity is the force, then does that mean that Prabhupada was impure when he was in India? And then when he went to the land of the impure, he became pure. Purity is the force, but purity is not the only force. There are other factors involved. And Prabhupada was just as dedicated when he was in India, when he went to the West, and then when he came back to India. So for us, when you honestly Krishna's hand this, to conclude this, let's read the next paragraph. That's the main part of the unfortunately, let me read this.
Unfortunately, instead of seeing those incidents as pointers to you, indeed, as a message from you, inviting me to lift my vision beyond the world with its routine ups and downs toward you. I dismiss them, my unfailing Lord, as mere chance or coincidence.
Yes. So, like I said, Duryodhan, and things work out for him, it's my grace. And things don't work out for him, it is basically for them, there's no place for God in that picture. You would like to read the next paragraph.
Bless me, O omnipotent Lord, so that I may stop deluding myself by dismissing these manifestations of your presence. Steady my mind and steady my heart, so that I may become fully available to contemplate you, who are the hidden sustainer of existence. Let me, my beloved Lord, increase my ability to realize and relish your ever present divinity.
Yes. So, to conclude this, let's look at two distinct things over here. See, there is what we do, our action, what we do in life. And then there is our intention, why we do it. What we do and why we do it. Now, our intention can be to serve Krishna. So, yes, and now the action that we do. Sometimes that action can act in a way that the service to Krishna manifests. That the when I use the word action. So broadly, we may say at this level, this is not complete analysis, but that if a plan works out, then we can say that was Krishna, our action was in harmony with Krishna's. And that's why it worked. And if something that we tried doesn't work, we can say that maybe this was not Krishna's. That's why it didn't work out. Now, that's not a complete understanding. Not fully yet, but that's a reasonable understanding. So our action, whether it succeeds, it's success, yes or no. Success in terms of success in service. So ideally, we would like that our actions be successful and our intention be to serve Krishna. So if you go to this 4 quadrants over here, we would like to be in quadrant 4. That we have the intention to serve and our action also leads to service. Now, among these, which would be the worst quadrant to be in? 2.
2.
We have no intention to serve and our actions also don't work. This is the worst. Now, yes and no. This is the worst in the present because we are completely, nothing is working out for us and we have no connection with the roles. However, the worst for the future is this one. When our actions are working out, but we have no intention to serve Krishna. What happens like that is often we may get an inflated vision of ourselves. We may start thinking, I am so clever, I am so brilliant. And the success can disconnect us from Krishna even if when Duryodhan tried in the gambling match, actually he was more successful than his plans. Because his plan had been to steal the Pandavas' kingdom. When he didn't expect that, actually Yudhishthir will put Draupadi on stake. And when Draupadi was put on stake and he was able to humiliate her, and through her to humiliate the Pandavas. He felt intoxicated by success. He felt that I achieved what I have succeeded beyond my wildest dreams. The way I humiliated the Pandavas. He was enjoying the Pandavas' pain so much. And yet, what was the result of that? He just became more and more brazen. So when we get success without the intention to serve. Now, sometimes our acts may also be good. And some good results may come in the good. And sometimes our actions might be bad. And some bad results will come in the good. But the point is, both will disconnect us from the Lord. So for us, when we start, the Pandavas made certain plans. So then initially, if you look, for example, so you can know this now. That in the beginning, when the Pandavas came after Pandava had been killed, at that time, the three of them became very envious of especially him. So, or what happened was, he thought, I'm the prince, I'm going to be the king. And then suddenly, he found that this is represent older than me, maybe he'll become the king. And Pandava, Bhima is stronger than me. When they were present, Bhima would just pick Duryodhana and throw him into the water. So he became super envious. Basically, he had grown up thinking that there is the next successor. But then when Yudhishthira came back, suddenly Duryodhana found it, I have become a spare. Spare till back up, we are now become the king. So then he decided, I will kill Bhima. He tried to kill Bhima. Bhima was survived. He came back and said, I want to beat up Duryodhana. Yudhishthira said, don't do that. Yudhishthira said, maybe he's just insecure. Oh, because new over here, you don't want to take our family apart. We don't know who will support us. Just let's be peaceful. The Bhima did not like that, but he agreed. And the point is, was Yudhishthira wrong in doing it? that word we might not use this Duryodhana at that particular time. Might is evil having nipped in the bud by then listen. We don't do. See, Yudhishthira acted with the best intention at that particular time. His intention was, I don't want to escalate things. But sometimes, despite the best efforts, things get escalated. So now we can say when the Lord comes and Lord acts, even the Lord, by performing Narlila, demonstrates something similar. Even Shurpadika came in the garb of a very beautiful woman. Initially, she's like human flesh. She wanted to eat flesh. And when we saw, oh, wow, looking so majestic, so handsome. Suddenly her lunchbox changed into a love interest. And then she said, I want it. She changed herself into a beautiful form and she came there. But position herself. Now, Ram did not want to hurt her, take her, want to gently let her down. So, what happened? He told her, actually, I wanted to marry you, Sita. And you married now, you'll be second wife, you'll be subordinate to her. So, Lakshman alone. Shurpadika immediately went to Lakshman. This is the key difference between lust and love. If the object of attraction is just replaceable nonchalantly. That is not love, that is lust, clearly lust. So he went to Lakshman and Lakshman also understood Ram was doing. Lakshman also played along. He gently wanted to say no. He said, what? Actually, I am Sir Ram and Sita. And if you value me, you will have some of few of us. Just majestically, this is not worthy of you. So both of them gently wanted to say no. But when she said no to me, Lakshman said, why both of them said no to me? It's because of Sita. She tried to attack Sita. So at that time, what does Ram say? Yes, it's the wise that said that one should never jest with the demoniac. Now, does that mean Ram was wrong in saying what he said to Sita? So to Shurpadika. No, it's not wrong. Ram tried to make the best choice about it. That okay, she has come gently let her. But even his gentleness triggered fury from her. So the point is that sometimes in this world, even when we act with good intentions, bad results come out. Or results don't come out. So does that mean that what we did was not Krishna's plan? So my point is that success in a particular endeavor does not necessarily mean it was Krishna's plan. Our intention was in disharmony with Krishna's plan. And failure in a particular endeavor does not mean that what you were doing was outside of Krishna's plan. So Krishna is Bhavagrahi. Bhavagrahi means Krishna wants to see our heart. So if we are praying to Krishna and still what to do is not becoming clear, then what that means is Krishna wants to see if we will keep serving him even when how to serve him is not clear. Now, when the how to serve is clear, then it's easy to serve. Of course, there is never easy. But at least what to do is it's clear. But the point is that when it's not clear, when Prabhupada went to America, we see two distinct thoughts of Prabhupada saw words. He said, on one side, I didn't know whether to do it left or right. On the other side, Prabhupada said, that filled with devotees. Only time is separating us. Now, time is separating us, but even Prabhupada did not know how much time is separating us. Is it 1 month? Is it 1 year? Is it 1 lifetime? Any future lifetime? Prabhupada didn't know it. But even when things were not clear, Prabhupada kept smirking. So rather than worrying about whether why can't I figure out what Krishna's plan is? Why is Krishna not revealing his plan to me? We get focused not so much on what is Krishna's plan, but what is my intention? What is my purpose? Is my purpose to serve Krishna? If my purpose is to serve Krishna, then whatever we do with our good intelligence, we take some guidance, we pray, and whatever we feel this is the best way, we do that. The Prabhupada tried many different things, and some projects worked, some did not work. So what didn't work? When Prabhupada decided the political parties and within God we trust. There's one devotee Prabhupada told him, you can become the next president of America. And then that devotee came to Prabhupada and Prabhupada, I'm no longer enthusiastic about the political party. I said, I'm very enthusiastic, but don't ask me for any money. Prabhupada came to know how much funds are required for promoting a candidate. Apart from that, whatever funds we have in better use for establishing temples, printing books, and distributing, but I'm Krishna activities. So Prabhupada made certain class that didn't work. He didn't follow through that sometimes. Follow through, but it didn't work out. So Prabhupada was never disappointed. Some things work out, some things will work. So for all of us, these two dynamics. I'll summarize and I'll give one concluding statement. What did we discuss? That when Krishna's plan seems unclear, when we can't figure out what does Krishna want me to do. So I talked about three things in that. First is that is also Krishna's plan. I gave the example of spies, that spies in enemy territory, they may not be told what is the full plan. Because if they're caught, then they may be the whole plan to be extracted from them and it will be so it may the whole plan will fall. So the point is Krishna's plan may include our knowing not knowing this plan. Sometimes it may include our knowing this plan, sometimes it may not include our knowing this plan. So that's why don't be so discouraged that Krishna is not at the plan or Krishna doesn't care for me. So no, our not knowing Krishna's plan is also part of Krishna's plan. Then the second point we discussed is that even when Krishna's plan is clear, still what happens is it is our we took the example of Duryodhana. Duryodhana, what happened? As when Krishna came as the Shanti, Krishna clearly told his plan. I want him to settle. And Krishna gave him desire. You can happen to you. Krishna showed his power. But still, Duryodhana didn't accept. Why? Because his attitude was he was anti-devotion. His attitude was that he didn't want to serve. So the key point was that even if we know, even if somebody knows Krishna's plan, that the visibility of Krishna's plan is not as important as the availability of the human. So that availability is not there, and then even the visibility did not work. So we see that here in Silver, it's one more point that when there is success and when there is failure. So now we discuss the example of success for Duryodhana in killing of me and success for Arjuna in killing Jayadratha. Now what happened is from the success in killing Abhimanyu, Duryodhana concluded Krishna is not good. And from the success in killing Jayadratha, Abhimanyu saw Krishna's hand, Krishna's face. So the point is, from success, one can conclude Krishna's non-existence or non-supremacy. And from success, one can claim one can see Krishna's glory. So the point is, success in something is not necessarily indicating that that was Krishna's plan and that what we were doing was Krishna's plan. Nor does it indicate that we are on the right track. So on the other hand, we also discuss that when we work in life. So that last point we talk about our intentions matter. And our intentions we will the our availability is what matters. So now even the intentions are like, even then, even the right intentions are there, still that may lead to success or that may still lead to setbacks. I won't use the word failure because some eventually some success will come. Prabhupada had an earnest desire to say start a thing of democracy. He worked very hard. His heart was in the right place, but still didn't work out. So we discussed setbacks. We discussed what Yudhishthir when he was dealing with Bhima. Bhima was attacked as a child. Then we discussed with Ram himself by dealing with Shurpadka. So the idea is that sometimes Srila Prabhupada in India, so there was a setback, but still it was a part of Krishna's plan. And later on, when Srila Prabhupada in America, he got enormous success. That was a part of Krishna's plan. So when things are not clear for us, rather than thinking that, oh Krishna, what is Krishna's plan? So for us, Krishna's plan, we may or may not. But our intention, our purpose, what do I want to do? I want to keep serving humanity. That is the most important. What the final verse of Shastram comes, Ashrishya Padaratam Pinashriva. Adarshyanam Marmanatam Karutua. Yatha Tatva Vidavani Ramanathas to Sarim Manapa. This is Jagannatha speaking in the more further. And what is he saying? Krishna, you may embrace me, Ashishya, Padaratam Pinashriva. Or you may embrace me, or you may neglect me by going towards one and go. Or Marmahatam Karutu. Or you may just leave us completely and go away. As you're done when you go to Mathura. Then you back. Yatha Tathava Vidavati Lamikata. Whatever you do. Mat Pramanathas. You are my long days. So this is the way that is the demonstrated by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Exemplary Radharani. This was the goal of Prabhupada. When he went to America, despite having no successes, what this to say now. And Prabhupada came back to India. He was on the verge of completing the June temple. The June temple is inaugurated on January 14, 1978. Prabhupada divided November 14, 1977. So close. Prabhupada said to Krishna, Krishna, I worked so hard for this temple. Please let me see this temple. Oh, Prabhupada. Krishna, if you want me to go back, if you come back to me, kuch or anything. Prabhupada, he asked that. Prabhupada's mood was, Mat Pravartanathas Tusari Vidavara. So we try to use our intelligence to understand what is the best way to serve Krishna, what is Krishna's plan here. But more important than figuring out Krishna's plan with our head is ensuring that our heart is at peace. Krishna days what to serve you. So Krishna's invisibility is not the problem. Our heart's unavailability is the problem. Let's conclude by praying to Krishna. Like, repeat after me. My dear Lord,
My dear Lord,
let me never blame your invisibility.
let me have visibility.
Let me increase my own availability.
Let me increase my own availability.
Shri Krishna Bhagwan ki
Yeah.
Shri Prabhupada. Are there questions or comments?
Thank you for wonderful class. To me, I understood the three different scenarios where sometimes Krishna's plan, it's better that we don't know Krishna's plan, that's also good part of the plan. Sometimes it's clear and being devoted in terms of intentions, matters or the in any of those three levels.
you mentioned that there is in every endeavor there is element of in any endeavor there is element of success and element of failure. When we look at several examples, like Jarasandha tried killing Krishna 17 times. He wasn't successful. Um, Gajendra trying for years for his survival fighting with crocodile. He wasn't successful for many, many years. At what point the endeavor is considered over and over?
Okay. So at what point is endeavor considered over endeavor? Hmm. Is trying to understand the answer of this question in over endeavor. See, the example if we consider of a Ganga, the Ganga river flowing toward the ocean from the mountain. What Uttipayani says is that really go to let my consciousness flow towards the Ganga flows towards the ocean. So from all of us, what we want is that our consciousness should be flowing towards the ocean. That's the ultimate point of our everything to be nothing. Now, along the path, the Ganga may meet some obstacles. So when the obstacles come, sometimes we go around left, around right, sometimes we go above it, sometimes we eroding, sometimes we go below it. The Ganga keeps winding away to keep moving towards the ocean. So now, sometimes it can just erode the obstacle, sometimes it can't. Then it doesn't get that it's a big block. It finds a way some other way. Now humans may create some dams, but then dams can't stop the water forever. The water has to keep flowing. Some water can be blocked. So the point is that for us, our consciousness needs to keep flowing towards ocean. And if any endeavor is consuming our consciousness so much that we are becoming frustrated, we are becoming bitter, we are becoming irritated with everyone, even with other devotees, then that is indication that it's a priority. The point is that we want to, I think last time when I had come, we had this class, I had mentioned this diagram. See, we want to offer the world in terms of our devotion, to make offerings. We want to offer the world to Krishna and we want to offer our heart to Krishna. Now, the best is if we can offer both the world and the heart to Krishna. We do something wonderful for Krishna in this world. And our heart is in Krishna fulfilled and we also to absorb Krishna. Now, if neither are being offered, then there's no bhakti at all. If the heart is offered but the world is not offered, then yes, our service is not appreciated in the world. But in Krishna gives. So we can say Krishna Prabhupada's life, if you see, from 1922 onwards, till 1966. What was in the same? Then 66. You can say almost 68 to 77. So 66 is ISKCON actually started growing really fast from 68 onwards. So the last 10 years were the same. Now, sometimes as devotees, we want to serve the Lord. But so we may be in this quadrant from here, we want to come over here. But sometimes what happens is if this doesn't work out adequately, then we end up coming here. So I have my heart in the right place when I start serving, but when the service doesn't work out, in trying to make the service work, what happens? My heart becomes filled with negativeness. My heart becomes filled with negativity. Then, even when we succeed, what will happen? We offered our heart world to Krishna, but in that process, the heart has become liquid. Of course, if we go here, this will worse. But the point is, we do not want either of these. So the over endeavor would be that the the service consumes us so much, the project, the endeavor consumes us so much that it's not just we become forgetful of Krishna. It's almost like we become bitter, not necessarily towards Krishna, but Krishna's devotees, Krishna's community. It's why I'm not helping them doing this. So it's like, generally, I was talking with a Prabhu and said, I'm sannyasi, spiritual master. And from an knowledge, how can we know if yes, when are we becoming proud? So he said, it's very difficult, but one clear-cut indication is if somebody says, nobody will say it publicly, but internally also if we think, no one can believe this. I acknowledge it. And if we are thinking like this, then that would be strong indication that our ego is becoming strong. Now, it may be possible that many people who we counted on, they did help us, they let us down, maybe they backstabbed us also. But if we succeeded, there are people also who help us. Like I said, there are many things which fell in place by Krishna's teaching. So if we think nobody helped me, I alone did this. So that is an indication that Krishna has been displaced from our lives and has been replaced by other people. So over endeavor is more in terms of that displacement of Krishna. Does that answer your question? Yes. Last question. So thank you very much. The Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta ki jai. So, this book is inspired by the Bhagavad Gita. Last time I had brought one book that was first chapters 1 to 6. This is chapters 7 to 12. This is the whole bhakti section of the Bhagavad Gita. So prayers for all occasions are there. Prayers when we feel very down and discouraged in bhakti. Prayers when we feel lonely and misunderstood. Prayers when we feel as if Krishna is very far away. Prayers when we feel that we are very confused in life. Prayers when temptations are becoming very strong. So many different before starting the chanting, they read one prayer. It helps them to focus better. So this book is available. If you feel like I am also here to answer further questions of the samples. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
You'll sign the book? Yes.
How much to get it? What you bought it from?
Yeah.
Then what you bought it from?
I just bring it here. You want to take a book? Ask you.
We have volume.
You have volume 2.
We're just doing 2 more programs on Sunday. One of them is in this morning at the Centenary High School. And you go to one emails. See Josh.
It's a child.
And it's 6 p.m. old program.
It's a break. It's the email.
The topic we have Steve on planet lifetimes. Please.
The name or initiated name? Initiated name. Shivananda Sen, it's Shivananda Das. Shivananda Das. Okay.
Hi, Krishna. I'm gonna have to leave, but it was nice to see you again in Brisbane. And it was sorry I won't be able to. I wish I was in your previous schedule. I was all booked in for the other programs for the but it's nice to see you anyway.
Nice meeting you. Very good. All the best. Let's stay in touch with WhatsApp. Yeah. Talking is on there.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It's nice. But it's a distinction between what is favorite dish of Patti and Sunday the influence of Sunday division.
So then what we should do is it is correct. If you don't get any first to us. And it can get us to mind. But the point is that if we are on guard, that means
Right, but I need to know
that I watch out. if I'm doing this for Krishna's service, is it actually taking me closer to him? If it is not, then we can see how we can course.
Do you have the
Because this is a very difficult course curriculum.
okay, let me
Take his business.